Some killers inspire fear, others nightmares that never end. But one man from a quiet Wisconsin town blurred the line between reality and fiction, giving birth to the monsters that still haunt our screens today. This is the true story of Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield. Plainfield, Wisconsin, 94ths, population barely 700. A sleepy Midwestern town where everyone knew each other and one man seemed to live on the edges of it all. Ed Gein was born in '96, the second son of George and Augusta Gein. His father was a violent alcoholic, his mother deeply religious and fanatically controlling. Augusta preached that women except herself were instruments of sin and corruption. She filled Ed's world with guilt, isolation, and fire and brimstone sermons about lust and punishment. When Ed's father died in 94th, and his brother Henry under mysterious circumstances a few years later, Augusta became his entire world. He worshipped her. When she died in 94th-5, Ed's connection to reality began to crumble. He boarded up the rooms she once used, leaving them as shrines. He lived in filth while her parlor remained spotless. To the townspeople, Ed Gein was odd but harmless. He did handyman work, babysat children, and was known for his quiet politeness. No one imagined the horrors hidden inside his farmhouse. It began with disappearances and ended with a revelation that stunned America. On November 16, 95-7, local hardware store owner Bernice Worden vanished in the middle of the day. Her son, Frank, the town's deputy sheriff, found a blood trail leading out the back door and a missing receipt for antifreeze sold to Ed Gein that morning. Police went to Gein's isolated farmhouse, and what they found inside would change criminal history. The barn door creaked open to reveal Bernice Worden's body, hanging upside down, decapitated and gutted like a deer. But that was only the beginning. Inside the house, investigators found bowls made from human skulls, chairs upholstered with human skin, masks, literal faces, tanned, dried, and hung on the wall, a belt fashioned from nipples, a box filled with female genitals, and a human skin suit stitched together that Gein admitted he wore at night to feel like his mother. What Ed Gein confessed next revealed a mind detached from reality and an obsession with death and identity. Under questioning, Gein told police that he had made dozens of late-night visits to local cemeteries, digging up the bodies of recently buried women who resembled his mother. He would take body parts home, fashioning household items, trophies, and even clothing from human remains. He insisted he didn't always remember doing these things, saying he often felt like he was in a daze. Psychiatrists diagnosed him with schizophrenia and grave-robbing compulsion. Though evidence suggested only 2 confirmed murders, Bernice Worden and Mary Hogan, a tavern owner missing since 95th-4, investigators suspected more victims whose graves he may have disturbed. When photos from inside Gein's farmhouse were released, the public couldn't believe they were real. Newspapers called it a house of horrors. Hollywood took notice the case directly inspired Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. The state of Wisconsin had never seen a case like this. And the question wasn't just what Ed Gein had done, but whether he even understood it. In 95th-8, Gein was found legally insane and committed to Central State Hospital for the criminally insane. He was later moved to the Mendota Mental Health Institute, where he remained for the rest of his life. In interviews, Gein appeared calm and polite, almost gentle, speaking of his crimes with eerie detachment. He spent his days reading, doing chores, and drawing, as if the atrocities he committed belonged to someone else. He died in 98-4, at the age of 77, from respiratory failure due to cancer. His grave, in Plainfield Cemetery, was repeatedly vandalized, a grim reflection of the fascination his name continued to hold. Ed Gein's crimes didn't just horrify America, they reshaped how we think about evil itself. He wasn't the typical serial killer. He killed rarely, but desecrated often. His horror was not born of rage, but of obsession, grief, and delusion. His farmhouse became a symbol of psychological decay, of what happens when guilt, isolation, and madness go unchecked. Even decades later, the fictional killers he inspired, Norman Bates, Leatherface, Buffalo Bill, are echoes of that same question. What happens when love becomes possession and devotion turns to madness? From Plainfield, Wisconsin. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and join us next week as we uncover another story where truth is stranger than fiction.